Hey beautiful souls, how you doing? It's Gina here. I'm taking a walk through my local forest. I'm noticing these extraordinary trees that are lifeless, apparently, leafless, budless, certainly not useless. And I learned so much walking through this forest. It might sound cheesy, but I come out here just to get reprieve, and then and then I learned so much just observing. And what these trees tell me is how important it is to honor the season of my soul. I'm just back from a whirlwind. It's been a crazy year, back from a lot of travel, and there are these incessant voices like buzzards over my head that are like, this is the time, plan for 2020, no time to rest, you got to get stuff done. And I think in our over-scheduled lives, where everything we do is dictated by the calendar, by the day of the week, by the time of the day, we have all these pressures around timelines that we actually have the courage to honor the season of our soul. And sometimes it makes a lot of sense to be creative when we're inspired, and to write or to produce or to work at something. And sometimes it makes a lot of sense to rest. There's a time to plant the seeds, and there's a time to wait and be patient, and there's a time to reap, and there's also a time to hibernate. And I think so many of us are, I know for myself, pay so much attention to all these voices outside of me that say, you should, you have to, you must. So I just wanted to pop on quickly because I haven't been on here for a while, and just I stand here again, I want to be a model of possibility for all of us to consider how we can honor the seasons of our soul and really pay attention to how we're feeling. So many times this year, I've had deadlines, I've had to write speeches, I've had to push through because of my schedule, and I realize how out of accord, out of alignment I've been with myself and the repercussions of that, and I justify it saying, these are the deadlines, this is what you have to do, this is what you need to do to push through. And when I look back, I see how much of that I not only resent, but I wasn't not being in alignment with myself, not really honoring how I'm feeling, didn't produce my best work, and I just feel really shitty after, and it takes me a long time to recover. And so more and more, I am becoming self-aware of how I feel. And today's Sunday in Toronto, where I am, and Sunday is usually a day for a lot of people to rest, recover. But if you feel inspired to do something, do it. And if you don't. And I think, why don't we ever pay attention to and really honor the seasons of our soul? A lot of people go with the seasons. So they say, in the spring, be creative. In the summer, you chill. In the fall, you harvest. In the winter, you hibernate. But I think more than that, it's daring to check in with ourselves and say, how am I feeling today? What inspires me today? And to flow with that. I don't do it enough. And so I'm really daring myself right now, this last little part of 2019, to get curious about what I feel inspired to do. There's so many voices telling me this is what you need to do for 2020. You got to prepare now. You got to start now. You've got to plan. This is the time. And there's a huge part of me that just wants to rest and be reflective and metabolize the year. I think it's important that we create space to metabolize. You know what I mean? Like, break it down. It's like you eat a steak. I don't eat a steak, but people eat steak, and they, that feels really good, but you got to metabolize. The body has to digest it and break it down and figure out where all the pieces go. And I think we don't give ourselves enough space to do that. We're just pushing. There's so many messages that say, go for it. Work hard if you really want it. I led a retreat last weekend, and I think a lot of the people there were really surprised by what I had to say. How many times I've just gone off the beaten path. They say you have to do it this way, and I didn't. They say that you should do this thing, and I don't. I do a lot of things unconventionally, and this isn't to say it's the best way or it should even be your way, but that's my whole point, is it's important to check in with you. So again, I don't have anything truly profound here to say. I'm just reflecting on how out of alignment I could be with myself, and how precious it is to be in this present moment. And ask Gina, like really ask Gina, what do you feel like? What season is it in your soul? And some days I feel inspired to do things, and some days I don't. And why am I in judgment of that? My worthiness does not come from my output because my output is shit if I'm not really in the moment and aligned. So, hey, Sa, how you doing, love? So that's it. I've been missing you. I've been here, but I've just been low key and underground because that's what my soul needs. That's what my soul needs. So I'm asking you to share with me below. Just take pause, 30 seconds, 5 seconds right now, and ask your soul what it really needs. What does it really need today? Maybe it wants to move. Maybe it wants to do something, tackle a project, and maybe it wants to rest. But God, why don't we freaking ask ourselves that question? What are we so scared of? Are we going to miss out on something? Honor the season of your soul, y'all. Honor the season of your soul. And I think it's important to note that it may not be what anybody else's season is. You know, sometimes we get so blindsided because everyone around us is doing the thing. I know for entrepreneurs this is true. You know, we look at each other and we go, shit, she's writing the book, she's putting on the retreat, she's doing this, she's doing that. And so we feel like we have to keep up in so many ways. But how beautifully courageous and profound to give pause to our soul and ask what it really needs. What it really needs. Because I think when we take the time to do that, we are the most fruitful. You know, when I hibernate and I pause and I really take the time to figure out what I want, I come back with so much clarity and so much laser intention that I'm 10 times more in the flow of things. And when I don't do that and I override it and I tell myself the story of a deadline or that I need to push to be worthy, that I need to show up to be worthy, that if I don't post something every day that's profound, that you guys aren't going to love me anymore, and that, all these stupid things we imagine. They're just stories. They're just stories. So that's it. Honor the season of your soul. Hey, Sabrina. Hey, Pam. Love you guys. Hey, Bev. So that's it. I'm just gonna stroll, but I just had to take pause and let you know that I'm loving you, and I'm daring to honor the season of my soul. And if you're willing, I'd love to know what your soul tells you that you need today. And could you honor that? Could you honor that? Big love your way. Bye, guys.